Okay. Hi, everyone. We are live on Facebook right now. My name is Craig Smith, Director of Sales at Tavala. And yes, I am wearing my cool Tavala shirt. Remember, we've always told everyone to be branded up because you never know when somebody's going to ask you about the great opportunity that is called Tavala. Well, hey, I am very excited. Guys, we're going to give it just about one more minute. We've got the chat open right now. So if you want to say hi, please do. And I'll be introducing our special guest lecturer and educator tonight, Mr. Rob Sperry. So we'll give it again, 7 o'clock straight up. As you guys know, if anything, we don't do it perfectly, but we really do like to be on time. So again, hey, a big Tavala welcome to our Tavala Nation. All of you that are joining us, whether it's through our Zoom link or you're joining us live on Facebook, congratulations for being here, taking some time to invest in yourself, to invest in your business. My name is Craig Smith, Director of Sales here at Tavala, and I am thrilled tonight to introduce the guy you were really wanting to hear from, and that's Mr. Rob Sperry. I need to tell you a little bit about Rob, everyone, and that is simply this. You know, after you hear his presentation, you're going to think, wow, this guy's amazing, of course. And he's going to be lecturing tonight and talking to us about the do's and don'ts of social media. Now you're going to think, wow, this guy must just be born this way, so fascinating, so articulate. But you know what? Even in his own bio, he says, you know what? These skills are learned. And so I definitely can't think of a better person to learn from than somebody who has paid the price to improve their skills, to improve themselves. I want to highlight a few bullets for those of you guys wondering exactly who this guy is. If you haven't heard from him, maybe some of you guys already have the temporary tattoo. I don't know. But he is a fantastic guy. Let me tell you, he's been featured many times in the magazine Business for Home. The CEO for Business for Home mentioned Rob as one of his top 20 network marketing leaders. Rob Sperry was won as the top network marketing coach in the year 2017. And I love that he's got his book called The Game of Network Marketing, is one of the hottest books in the industry right now. And my favorite bullet, though, out of the entire bio here is Rob is most proud of his family and loves spending time with them. And of course, that's what this business is about, right? Freedom and being able to spend the time and work when you want to work on your schedule and with your loved ones. And so with that, I'm going to turn the time over. We're going to go ahead and Rob, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself. And
I am unmuted.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. We can hear you. And I'm going to go ahead and hide myself so all they see is you. So again, everybody out on Facebook, everybody joining us online, our very first Tavala training, I give you Mr. Rob Sperry. Thanks, Rob.
Hey, thank you so much. And Craig, real quick question. Do you guys have loaded up the PowerPoint? If not, I can do a screen share and I have it.
Yeah, we would love for you to do a screen share. That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the introduction, Craig. That's better than what my mom would give me. So I feel like now I've got a lot of pressure and I better deliver. Otherwise, people are like, what? Who is this guy? So I feel like, though, I feel so empowered to share with people the do's and don'ts of network marketing, the do's and don'ts of social media, because as Craig said, yeah, I started out, I'm naturally an introvert. Right now, I feel like I'm yelling just so that people can hear me. And I did become a top recruiter of a company that had 1 million distributors, but I didn't do that because I was naturally the most charismatic or anything like that. I learned how to work hard. I was very coachable, and I had great mentors. And so I'm going to go through some of those things that I've learned. I've had a lot of successes, but I've had even more failures, a lot more failures. We can draw from all of our experiences. And as Craig said, the thing I am most proud about, because what network marketing meant to me, was time freedom. And that's the thing that every single one of you wants. Every single one of you is selling something that everybody wants. Think about that for a second before we go into social media. Every single person on this earth wants more time freedom. Every single person. Because it helps them to achieve their dreams and their passions, whatever they may be. It may be a humanitarian trip. It may be going out and having that nice car, nice house. It may be going out and taking your kids to Disneyland. It may be traveling the world with your friends. It doesn't matter what it is. It always has something to do with time freedom. And I think sometimes we have so much fear to share with others what we have. And it's not because we don't know how great it is. We know how great it is. It's because we haven't learned how to communicate that. We know we're givers, but we don't want others to have the perception that we're takers. And so we're kind of in this weird place when we start network marketing where we know we're givers and we want to share it and tell the world, but we don't want to come off as takers. And that takes time. It takes time to really create that communication because good leaders have vision. Think about that. If you're a good leader, you've got vision. You're going to say, hey, Craig, hey, Randy, hey, Alan, hey, Jake, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm still going to be here a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. That's a good leader. But if you want to become a great leader, you need to learn how to communicate that vision. So good leaders have vision. Great leaders give vision. They communicate it so well that others, they see that worth and potential in themselves. Because many times you got to have more belief in them than they have in themselves. And so I just want you to know, those are some of the basics that you know that you have, that you get to share. And a lot of this communication, I'm going to help you with some of that Facebook communication, because no longer is social media something that maybe we'll do or don't do. Whether someone does it or doesn't do it, their teams are going to start doing it. So whether you have a strategy or you don't, your teams are going to have a strategy. It may be the wild, wild west of some crazy strategy where they do whatever they want, but either way, it's going to be some sort of strategy. So I have the great opportunity to be able to go in and I get to meet with your corporate staff a couple times a month and just kind of see what's going on and converse with them. And we get to share ideas and bounce ideas off each other. And they said, hey, you got to share some of these social media ideas. And so I'm going to share with you guys real quickly here just some of these things and what I want. Let's see if we can get this to start. Oh, there we go. Okay. So top 14, I don't know if they're the top 14 because there's always new ones, but these are some of the top 14. Now, let me preface this, and this is what I do with all my trainings. You're not allowed to get overwhelmed. Okay, so that's one of the first things you need to hear from this training. You aren't allowed to get overwhelmed. You need to find one thing to integrate and implement, and then after that, you can come back to this training and you can find the next thing that you want to integrate and implement, because everybody's at different levels. So some of you may hear something that's very basic to somebody else, but to you it may be advanced. You've never heard that or learned that before. But I can promise you this, you'll find at least one thing that will help you to do better at social media and Facebook. And we'll continue, we'll do more of these trainings and help you guys out. So with that said, you're not allowed to be overwhelmed. You can find one thing, you can come back to these trainings. Tip number 1, don't over tag. And you may say, okay, what's tagging? Most of you know what tagging is, right? If there's a photo or there's something, you can go tag 50 plus people and you go tag them. And the theory is if I go tag everybody, it's going to show up on their timeline, which means I'm going to get more exposure. But Facebook's caught on. Facebook more and more rewards authenticity. It's very difficult or much harder to game Facebook. So because of that, when you tag and there isn't relevancy to the tag, if you think about it, in theory, people think, well, yes, I'm going to get more likes and comments because now it's going to show up on everybody else's feed. So if I tag Randy and if I tag Craig and if I tag Alan, if I tag Jake, now all of a sudden all their audiences are going to see it. No, Facebook shows content that's relevant to other people. And the more that people like and comment, the more they're going to show it to other people. So I would only tag other people in your posts that are relevant to that post. So if they're in a photo or if there's something, some special occasion or something, but don't be the person that's just trying to tag everybody you can. Because if you've noticed, if you've done it before, seeing somebody else that have done it before, they don't get that much interaction. So that's tip number 1. Now let's rewind a little bit. Understand the Facebook algorithm in simple terms, because there's all these Facebook algorithm experts these days, and they're trying to explain to you all these things that are super complicated. So this is what I want you to understand. The most simplistic way to explain the algorithm. Facebook years ago, think 5, 6+ years ago, if Craig makes a post at 8:01 a.m. and then Alan makes a post at 8:02 a.m. and Jake makes a post at 8:03 a.m. and Randy makes a post at 8:04 a.m., then all of those posts would show in order to everyone. But then all of a sudden, Facebook started to become irrelevant because there were too many posts and it was this smorgasbord and everybody saw a lot of content that they didn't want to see. People are posting, I ate this for breakfast, right? Or I'm having a bad day, and people would get annoyed. So Facebook created an algorithm where they're going to show you a small percentage of everybody's posts, not everyone's posts. You're not going to see everyone's posts. And thank goodness, because we'd be overwhelmed. So now they show you the most relevant posts. And there's a lot of things that go into that. We're not going to go into everything in that right now. We're going to keep it very simple for you. So hopefully you're tracking with me so far. So the more popular a post is, which is the more interaction, the more likes and comments and shares, the more Facebook says, wow, Craig, this is relevant content. Let's show this to more and more people. And the less likes and comments, the less likely it is to show to people. So if it gets 2 likes after an hour, Facebook's going to say, ding, 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 ding. Why would I show this content to more people? Because it doesn't seem like it's that popular or relevant. So just understand that for the algorithm. That will help you guys understand. Nothing else right now. If you're just new to, and I don't see new to Facebook, you're just trying to figure it out. Just know that. That's it. That's very simple for understanding the algorithm. Tip number 2. This is a big one that a lot of people still don't know. Never leave a link in your post. When I say never, I literally mean never leave a link in your post. So you're not going to post, it doesn't matter if you're posting a YouTube video that you liked, or maybe it was an event, or maybe you're pitching and you've got a Tavala event and you want people to come to. Think of this, Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, good old Zuckerberg, he doesn't want to take you off Facebook. He wants to keep you on Facebook. So anytime you post a link, the algorithm instantly says, oh, let's not show this content. We don't want to take them off Facebook. We don't want to help our competitors. So here's the workaround. And the reason why I said unless it's paid, because a business page, yes. If it's paid, then there is no algorithm. It's paid content. You break the algorithm. That's a business or fan page. I'm talking about your personal profile. People say the same thing in a group. In a group, you can absolutely post a link. There's no algorithm in a Facebook group. I'm talking about on your personal profile. So here's the workaround. Make a post, and if you want to post a link, just say link in the comments. And then after you make the post, you put the link in the very first comment. Do that, and voila, all of a sudden now you've cracked really the little algorithm. You've kind of bypassed that now where it's not going to ding you. It's not going to go against you. So hopefully that's simple. Now, for some of you, that's great. That's enough. You can just listen to the other stuff here and you can say, I'm going to start out with integrating the first 2 things and you move on. Remember, not allowed to get overwhelmed. Tip number 3, don't be the Facebook stalker. What's the Facebook stalker? The purpose of being on Facebook is to increase your likability, your credibility, your recallability. Recallability is just being memorable. You want people to think of you, right? And connect with people. And then ultimately, in the end, hopefully profitability. Sometimes it's just a connection or friendship. Sometimes it's advice. Sometimes it's mentorship. And sometimes it's a transaction where they become part of your business or buy your products. Well, if you're the Facebook stalker and you never interact, and I'm going to talk about several of these things. Tip number 3 goes into several other tips. But if you're doing that, then you're never interacting, you're never connecting, you're never networking with other people. So don't just be the Facebook stalker. Make sure when you see other people's posts that are relevant, it doesn't take very long to go like and comment and interact, because it's old people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And think about this simple thing right now. You haven't spoken to somebody in 10 years. Imagine if you start to comment and like their posts for the next 3 months. And I don't mean crazy, obsessive, stalker, or weird, or anything like that, but just normal. You're being authentic. You're being you. Imagine if you reach out to that person now. How much less awkward is it? They feel like there's this connection and you guys have been in touch, even though you really haven't. Think about that. So that's understanding Facebook. And that goes with tip number 4 is comment on other people's posts. Just take the time to show that. Number 5, I always say unclutter your feed. There's a couple things that you can do. You can click on when someone's a friend and on the following, and you can click on unfollow. So let's say you want to stay friends, but this person's just, we'll call them negative Nelly. And they're always negative and it's just cluttering your feed, but you don't want to unfriend them maybe. Well, some of them you can unfriend, others you can unfollow so you don't see their content, but you're still friends with them. And then other people that are maybe potential clients, maybe they're potential connections, maybe they're leaders inside of your company that you want to follow their content so you can stay up to date. You can go and you can click on see first. So you click over the following right there. And if you click over the following right next to the friends, you'll see first pop up. You have up to 30 on see first. So now I have 30, which I wish I could have 50, but now I've got my see first with the people's content that I want to see all of the time. So I'm uncluttering my Facebook so that it's a lot more simplified so I can maximize it. You can do the same thing. Maybe you have your top 10 potential prospects and leaders that you want to make sure you're interacting with. So that's one thing to understand. The next thing, tip number 6, sounds really simple, but I hope you understand it. Have a well done profile and cover photo. Why? That's your brand. That's your first impression. They say first impressions can last a lifetime. So think about this. You go to somebody's Facebook, they added you as a friend. You're like, okay, who is this person that added me as a friend? And you go check out their profile. And they have a picture of themselves and some cartoon character. Or they have a picture of themselves and they've got 7 cats. Now, I'm not ripping on cats. Great. You love cats, you love dogs, but you're probably going to be less likely to take that specific individual, right, and accept them as a friend. So have a well done profile and cover photo that conveys your brand, conveys what you want to convey. Right now, this one is, I just updated mine. So the one I have now shows me speaking and it shows a new family picture. I want to show that, yes, I speak, so I want to show some credibility. And then I also want to show my family because that's the most important thing to me. So think about that as you're doing it. And it's just simple. Once you set it up once, you're good. You can update it once or twice a year. So again, don't get overwhelmed. Hopefully you're tracking with me. So tip number 7, when you make a post, try to reply to everyone who comments on your posts. Now, if you make a post that gets way too many comments, that's called positive stress. And you don't need to go reply to every single one's comments if you don't want to. But remember, what did I teach you about the algorithm? The more popular your post is, the more people it's going to be shown to. So Facebook's going to say popular post, show it to more people. So when you're replying to everyone's comments, what are you doing? You're making your post even more popular. It's almost like you're boosting your own post. So yes, you can look at certain influencers and you can say, well, this big leader doesn't do that. Well, if they're getting so many comments and likes, then it's almost like they bypass the algorithm where they can post what they ate for breakfast and they get 100 or 200 likes. That's not relevant. They've kind of bypassed that now because they've created that credibility and likability where everyone's just going to like whatever they post. But for you, if you're trying to get to that point, try to reply. I still try to reply to everyone's posts. Not when if I do a Facebook Live, I usually get over 500 comments, up to 1,500 comments. I don't have time. I'm not going to do that. That would be a waste of my time. I don't think anyone would expect that. But if I make a post that has, 20, 30 comments, I'm going to do my best to try to reply. That helps out a ton. So that's tip number 7. Now, tip number 8, I think this is important to understand. Be consistent in posting every single day. Now, remember, you can all come back to this training. You can cover these trainings with your teams. You can cover certain sections. Maybe there's a section every single month you come back to and you say, let's integrate, let's implement with our teams. But when I say be consistent in posting every day, if I'm going to go teach you, right, and we're going to go train and you want to run a half marathon, and let's say you have been running only on average a mile a day. We're not going to go all of a sudden say, okay, let's go do a half marathon. Let's go run 12 miles. No, You got to work your way up to that. So we'll start out with a mile, move up to 2 miles, move up to 3 miles. Same thing. When I say be consistent and posting every day, if you're only posting once a week, move it up to twice a week. Move it up to 3 times a week, and slowly start to move it up so that you can be consistent in posting every single day. Why? Because you're going to increase your likability. You're going to increase your credibility. You're going to become memorable to people. That makes a difference. You're going to be front of mind, right? And you do not have to post. I would say 80% of your posts should be non-business related. Be positive, be authentic, as I put down in the slide. Be vulnerable, be humorous, be insightful. Show people who you are. Now, here's another little side tip. When you post something about your business, I wouldn't do something that's spammy. If you say, hey, come join my company, or private message me for more information, that's too spammy. You want to be a better marketer than that. So for example, if I'm talking specifically about weight loss, I wouldn't say, come buy my incredible Tavala products. Here's my favorite product. Message me. There's a special. I wouldn't do that. The best marketers tell a story. You don't get on Facebook all excited. Oh, I hope my friends spam me today. You don't get on TV, right? And you're watching your favorite show and you're so excited, unless it's the Super Bowl. You're so excited the commercials came on and you're going to get spammed. You don't get so excited that, you had 10 people knock on your door to pitch you something, right? Where it's the door-to-door salespeople, who I respect a ton because that's hard, but you don't get excited. So why would we be those people on Facebook, on social media? Provide value. And so you may say, well, what kind of posts are you saying, Rob? So if you're going to make a business-related post, why not share a story? So let's say you had a friend and she had a baby 2 years ago, and she hasn't been able to lose the baby weight for 2 years. Well, I would say, okay, share a story of, hey, my good friend Mary, she had her 3rd child 2 years ago. She hadn't been able to lose the weight for 2 years. And in the last month, she's lost 20 pounds. And the best part is she feels like she has more energy than she's had in years. Big shout out to Mary. Congratulations. That right there, that's a value post. That's called pull marketing, attraction marketing. You're probably going to have more people that message you about that than you would of private message me. Think about this. Everybody knows they can private message you. By you saying private message me, they're less likely to private message you. Think about that. So there's 2 things to understand. One, by telling the story, you're going to have more people private message you. Number 2, by telling the story, now when you end up reaching out to these people on Facebook, you've created some rapport. You've created some credibility. Now maybe instead of closing 1 out of 10 people, you close 2 out of 10 people. Huge difference there. So I think it's important for you to understand really the purpose and what you're doing and building. And hopefully you all kind of do a little mastermind with your little core groups, and you create, what are some value posts we could do? What are some stories we could tell? Facts tell, stories sell. People don't appreciate it when you're in their face. So instead, get really good at telling a story. That's what we do as network marketers. And everything we do, we get really good at telling truthful, authentic, powerful stories. Okay, again, hope you're all tracking with me. It's a little bit hard. I'm not on the Facebook Live. I'm on the screen share here, so it's weird, right? Normally you got a crowd or Facebook Live, so you got all this feedback going on. Instead, it's just Craig and I just talking to each other. Actually me just talking to Craig, and Craig just there probably I hope I get one thing out of this whole thing. So it's all good. So don't worry. Like I said, you figure out, because everyone's at different stages in we'll say in their Facebook world. So my goal is to try to cover as many beginner, intermediate, advanced, and make it so it's not just one training one time. It's one training where you can come back to this over and over and over again over the course of weeks and months and mastermind with your group. So tip number 9, very simple one, but it's powerful. Add emojis to every post. One recent study says 33%. Another one I just read said 50%. It's going to increase engagement. So here's a simple tip. When I say add emojis, don't look like you're in preschool where you have 3 words and then you've got 5 emojis and then you have 5 more words and 6 emojis. No, just You can go look at my posts if you want. I keep it very simple. I add emojis, but if you notice, the right place, like it's not over the top or anything like that. So you can always look at my posts and kind of see. It's taking me time to learn how to do it. I used to not do enough, then I did too many. So I've really learned a lot of this stuff really just through trial and error. Tip number 10, Facebook Lives. Facebook Lives will be promoted on Facebook at least 10 times more than any post that you make. And the reason is because Facebook wants to own video. Facebook wants to own video. So because of that, and Facebook has found that people are liking videos more and they want to stay relevant. So there's just something to a live video. So I'm not saying that you have to do live videos to build your business. I'm saying that if you can learn to do them, it may be the greatest thing that you could learn. It's painful at first because you are not going to have as many people that are on watching it or tuning in. I get it 100%. It's so painful. But if you can learn how to do them, it's also going to make you a better trainer. It's going to help you to become a better communicator. I know for me, even after I had made a lot of money in this industry, my first 6 months, I still felt uncomfortable doing Facebook Lives. I felt more comfortable on stage with 10,000 people than I did doing Facebook Lives. So I get it. So I'm not telling you have to do them. I'm just telling you that they will be promoted heavily on Facebook, and it's increasing. They said this year they're going to promote them even more. You notice, just go on your feed and it just feels like it's, wow, live, more than ever. So that's something really important. Tip number 11, really simple tip. I would add 3 to new people, 3 to 5, max 10 new people a day. Again, for some of you, that's overwhelming because you're just getting on Facebook. You don't have to do that. The reason why I think that's great is because now you're increasing your circle of influence, your audience, you're getting to know new people, helps you to never run out of contacts. So the next question is well, where do I add people? I'm not sure where to add people. Do I just add random suggested friends? My simple suggestion is just go to Facebook groups of things that you're passionate about. If you're passionate about hiking, go to a Facebook group, go interact, go comment, go make a post on that Facebook group so they start to get to know you a little bit. Go add friends. The second thing is if you see a friend that makes a really good post that you love, you resonate with, and other people like that post, why not add some of those people? Those people are thinking the same as you. They're like-minded. So you're just looking for people that are like-minded and add those people and make friends with those people. And I'll talk about that here in a second. And then you can delete a couple people. If people are totally inactive, if they're negative, if you wish them a happy birthday and a week later they still haven't responded and you don't know them at all, it's probably a sign that they're not really active on Facebook unless they have a huge following. And that's okay to delete to make sure you keep that Facebook really clean. So last 3 tips here, and then you guys can take a deep breath for these last 3 tips, and then we are done and you're good and you can figure out which is your favorite. And I'd love for you, if you're watching the Facebook Live, drop in the comments below what's been the most insightful tip for you, what's been the most helpful. So if you're watching this live right now, and also drop in the comments where you're tuning in from. I love going back and looking. City, state, province, country, where in the world you are tuning in from. Give a huge shout out. So tip number 12, this should be common sense. Don't spam new contacts. You don't go make friends with somebody. They accept you as a friend request, and then all of a sudden you just shoot them a link. Again, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, is what John Maxwell says. So cultivate a relationship. Now don't over cultivate, meaning don't go, where you're spending like 6 months trying to make friends and you never transition to business. On average, it's about the 3rd time where you can transition a conversation into asking them what they do for a living, or asking them, or getting them to take a look at your product or your business. Now, when I say on average, sometimes it does naturally happen the first time in a conversation. Sometimes it's the 4th or 5th time. But the purpose of networking, the purpose of social media for you from a business standpoint, is to take strangers, turn strangers into friends, friends into family. Think about that. You want to turn strangers into friends, friends into family. You want to maintain old and new friendships. It's a great place to do it. Facebook is the ultimate place to network, but as we know, there's always people that abuse the networking and they make friends. I mean, how do you feel if your next 10 friends that make friends with you and they go send you 10 links and say, hey, are you open to joining my business? Are you open to taking a look? You're like, I don't even know you, right? What are you doing? So utilize Facebook the right way where you will never run out of contacts, ever run out of contacts if you consistently do this. What I do, and this is a tip that isn't on here, actually it is on here on tip number 13, is I've done this for now 11 years. I reach out to 250 people a month and I just say hello. Now, of course, some of those conversations led into business, but I just said hello. And some of those people are the same people I said hello to 3 months ago. But what I'm doing is I'm building my ark before the flood. Can you imagine if Noah in the Bible, the flood comes and all of a sudden he's like, guys, I need an ark. I need an ark. Well, it's too late, man. The flood's here. It's the same thing we do in network marketing. All of a sudden we run out of contacts because we haven't been developing new contacts and the flood's here. And you call up Craig, I believe in this company and these products, but I've ran out of contacts, Craig. I don't know what to say or what to do. Well, this is a strategy that will help you to never run out of contacts. So 250 may be overwhelming to you. That's 9 a day, a little bit less. But I mean, 9 a day, you go on Facebook Messenger, you leave a 20-second voice message. It's not that hard. Now, if you want to do 2 a day, 1 a day, 3 a day, whatever you want, you figure out what your number is and you do that. But imagine if you did that for 6 months. Imagine if you did that for a year. Imagine if you did that for 2 years. Imagine what it would do, how it would help your business. And I can give you guys a ton more trainings and you guys can go on and I'll do this last one here, but if you guys go on just totally 5 free trainings, it's not going to pitch you or tell you guys you have to buy anything or anything like that. But if you guys go to NWM, which stands for Network Marketing, nwminsights.com, it'll give you 5 free trainings, how to overcome objections. It'll give you a free Facebook Live. And if you guys go there, nwminsights.com, it will do that. But tip number 14, create Facebook groups specific to the group. So you guys right now, and we'll talk about this another time, we'll do a whole training. You have a customer group that just recently started. If you aren't all utilizing that group, you're missing the boat. Some of the top companies I know in the industry, because I meet with all the top leaders, I consult for some of these companies, they're utilizing their customer Facebook group like crazy. They're sharing a couple stories a day on there. They're adding all their new customers. They're messaging and letting know their potential customers that the power of this group. And by doing that, guess what they're doing? Not only is their recruiting increasing because you got the new average person that's sometimes scared to talk to their customers. And if you don't know what that customer group is, you can ask after because Jake's been managing that a lot. But I promise you, you're going to want to participate and you're going to want to utilize that. Because think of the average person. They're scared to talk to somebody new. But if you get the average brand new person and you teach them a strategy of messaging their friend first and say, hey, look, I'm going to add you to this group. I think you're going to love these products. Check out this group. You're going to see a lot of information. If you don't like it, feel free to leave. Everybody can do that and add 10. So if you add your 10 new people that join, added 10 people, that's 100 people that join that group. You're increasing recruiting. You're also increasing retention because those people that order the products are going to see continual stories of the Tavala products and how they work. I promise you, if you're not utilizing that group, you're missing the boat. And it takes time to kind of learn the art of how to do that and create duplication models. And then obviously you have your other Facebook groups, for leaders and the masses as far as just building their business and you're utilizing recognition. I know that is a lot of content, a lot. But the great part is you can find that one thing that resonates the most with you. The great part is you can come back and watch this training over and over again. The great part is for all of you is you can come back and as you guys are going through all of this, stuff, which is which is great. You guys can come back and you can figure out, what you want to integrate, and you can figure out what you want to do, with your teams. You can figure that out specifically and say, okay, I want to make sure that I integrate this with my team. And you can do little mastermind sessions, and hopefully this just gives you some ideas here. So we didn't have a set amount of time that we were going to go. I don't know if we were too long, Craig. I don't know if we were too short. I did a lot of content in 30 minutes. Hopefully the team found some sort of value, found something that's going to be helpful for them, for their business in 2018 and much beyond that.
Absolutely. Wow. I think everyone watching, whether on Facebook or here online through Zoom, is just saying one thing: more. And I'm sure I can speak for everyone that's having this experience together. And I'm sure I can just tell everyone there, Rob will be back. Absolutely. Rob will be back. Guys, this has been Rob Sperry, our very first Tavala training. And we're going to do this regularly and give you real content that really helps you build your Tavala business. Again, a big thank you to Mr. Rob Sperry on the do's and don'ts of social media. We're going to see you again soon. And of course, we always like to say, welcome to Tavala. Welcome to paradise. Rob, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody.